Hello and welcome to Ladder Anxiety, episode 3, and today as promised it's going to be a Zerg vs Terran played this week. Platinum EU. So let's get into the game. And here we go. Now in the bottom left we have Lala with his friends Poe and Dinky Winky. And up in the right, Proximace, is me. So throwing out the good luck, have fun. And I've not come across that many Terrans on ladder. There don't seem to be that many where I am right now. There's the occasional one, but it's majority Protoss and Zerg, which is why those are the first two games that I cast. So hopefully there should be a few more coming along in the near future. So he's got an idle SCV here. What are you doing, SCV? Just basking in the warm glow. Oh, and he's off to work. A little bit later work, he'll probably get disciplined later. So, early game tends not to be entirely that eventful. Most Zergs, and myself, don't really tend to six-ball Terrans because it's just too easy with narrow chokes to just wall off just one barracks and two depots. You don't even have to finish the second depot. And you can do it reasonably econ focused. You don't have to build these ridiculously early to hold off six balls. So most Zergs will tend to go over a hatchery on about 14, 15, and then Terrans will either go one Rax expand or fast expand. So he's now just complaining that he forgot an SCV, and yeah, he's setting that up for his excuse when he loses it. So here I go, extractor trick. Not sure why I did that. I think I must have accidentally done that. Because I wasn't supply blocked. Very strange. I don't even remember doing that. There we go. So yeah, I've got my base down now. He's going CC first. So he's gone CC on about 14 supply, I've expanded on 14, 15. So now I'm just going gas, and then I'm going to go pool. As soon as I have the money, there you go. So this is just to get Zergling speed out pretty quickly with an econ style, just so that if there is an early 2 racks bunker rush, at least there are speedlings which can kind of hunt things down, hunt down reinforcements, and then the queens can just stand at the back and throw darts and then hopefully smash down steel walls. So he's got his barracks completing the wall off here. He's going one gas, which would generally indicate tech focus, so going for an early stim pack or a starport, factory through starport to get really quick drops. Meanwhile, I'm just doing the basic Zergy things of overlords and drones, overlords and drones. And there we go. So I try to tend to time it so that my spawning pool finishes just as the second hatchery finishes, and I have just enough money to get both queens and both larvae that are on the hatcheries at that time, and then very soon after I can get Zergling speed on the way. It's just a nice timing. I think it's with the 15th drone you set down the hatchery, and you can build a 16th while that one's on the way, because you'll have slightly more than 300 minerals when you get there. And then you build back up to 16 and then go gas pool as soon as you have enough money for each of them. So as soon as you have 35 gas, as soon as you have 200 pool, and then you'll take that to 14, and then you can drone up and then obviously put them in gas as soon as you can. It seems to work out quite nicely for me. Hopefully someone else tries it as well and it works for them. So now I've got early Reaper push in. He's only making the one Reaper. He's then going for just some reactors to flood with some marines just in case there's anything coming straight at him. So he's going 4 barracks. He's just using this additional CC to build some more SCVs to help fully saturate this main. Now all he's used the gas at the moment, these 2 reactors, and he's got 100 gas, so he might be going, might get a tech lab for stim or combat shield. And this Reaper's just being annoying, running around. He only got 1 kill. My queens managed to chase him around. And instead of getting a lava inject, because I saw Reapers, I got these creep tumors. And it just connects the main with the natural, which means that if there is a big group of Reapers come in early, I can get both Queens to one base, and later on it's always good to drop so you can get your army around a lot quicker. So here I'm just getting a group of Speedlings out, just so that if there are Reapers I can deal with it. I do float an Overlord in here, see all these barracks, you just get another... No, that's the same Reaper, I thought it was another one from this barracks, but it's the same Reaper, come all the way back and on full health, which is slightly confusing when you're trying to keep track of units. So he's now going for a factories, and I noticed that his wall-in isn't actually a wall, so I get some nice free Marines, and a couple of free workers here. Now, he does put the Reaper in the bunker, which is, I guess he's keeping the Reaper safe, but it doesn't do a lot of damage, and now I can just run up here and pick off Marines and SCVs. Just generally be an annoying Zerg. Meanwhile, in the background, I'm teching up to there. So I do quite a lot of damage here. Units, he's now down to 20 SCVs, and he's lost quite a lot. Quite a lot of that is SCVs, because he did only have 4 or 5 Marines, so that's probably about half and half. Which is not really that useful. So yeah, now I have quite a considerable drone lead. He has 10 Marines. I don't have any Zerglings left, but that's not too much of a problem because I know he's going to sit back now because he's just found out that his wall isn't actually a wall. And generally, because he's built 3 bunkers at the front, he's going to be very defensive, and he's probably taking it behind it. The fact that he's not, I'm not aware of. He is now getting his second gas. He is going a reactor on the factory, which could be Widow Mines or Hellions, then through to Hellbats. Or he could be building it to then attach a starport and get double medevac production. So now I've got to layer, I've got my Roach Warren, I'm getting Burrow and Roach Speed, and I'm building a big slab of Roaches, just to have some nice meaty units, because Zerglings tend to die quite quickly, and I just like having some big bulky units to kind of, I know they don't deal a lot of damage, but it's nice to have them there. They have a lot of life. Grouped together they can take out a lot of Marines, and seeing as all I've seen so far is Marines, I feel fairly confident, fairly safe in building Roaches to be able to deal with some early pushes at the front. So with my creep tuners I'm now spreading down to this base, which I'm now going to take as a 3rd base, right there, and then also reaching up to this one for a potential 4th. This one's quite nice because it does have a nice big space in front of your natural expansion where you can kind of rally your units, and then obviously Zerg with creep, you can spread them up to these 2 bases, and they're quite easy to run between if you've got the creep there, because it's just a nice straight path up and down here. So what I'm going to do now is just use these Roaches to push, not necessarily try and take out the front, just to be sitting there so he can't move out either. In the background, I'm getting double evo to constrict this ramp. It's not a ramp. This corridor, very to a very narrow one, so it can't push through big groups of units. And I'm also going up to Spire. So I do manage to take out a bunker here. I don't kill off too much, and then I'm just going to burrow to regen the health. I'm building more Roaches in the background. He has 2 Marines poking away at this expansion. He has 2 Marines up sitting here, just checking this one out. And there's an Overlord here, they could shoot. I guess not. So I'm going to still be an annoying Zerg bastard, and just build up a huge group of Roaches just to sit right outside his natural here. Take out the SCV building that extra bunker, and all he has is Marines right now. He doesn't even have this mineral line fully saturated, which gives me a good advantage. Now I've got this 3rd base up. If I start building drones on here, I could get a massive lead. But I'm going to build muters, just because he's sitting back, he's got a very big, heavy defense at the front. There could be, well, there's a 3rd base down here, I haven't scouted, I should have scouted, but I didn't. But there could be drops coming in through up this end, or down through the bottom here, or there could be banshees or other tech. So muters just kind of allow you to get a bit of map control in the air, and you can kind of, again, it helps keep their army in their base and not at your front door, because they have to be back dealing with the muters if they're poking in mineral lines. So here I'm just poking in the front again. Again, I'm not looking to do too much damage, I just take the bunker out and then leave. I lose a couple of roaches, and then I burrow and just run away when he scans, and then reburrow. So it's just keeping these alive. There's not, no additional investment in these, but I just have a nice group of roaches here. I'm just getting 1-1 for them, and now I'm droning to fill up this third base. So now he has got double drops. He's still got a reasonable force at home, but is a bit weaker because obviously now he's not got another medevac. There's one on the way, but he doesn't. So if he stims these, there's a lot of damage to himself. I see this drop coming in at the back here. I do delay too much my response. I do push here, just on his third, to try and see if I can get this army to move out, but it doesn't. So I then slowly run home. So I finish taking out this base, and I'm going to fire my mutants back. Meanwhile, I lose all of this mineral line, which evens out the units lost here. So before I was ahead, and now I'm a couple hundred behind, which is not good, and I lost an entire mineral line. For some reason, he bought SCVs. I'm not quite sure why he bought SCVs. Maybe he misclicked, he just grabbed a bunch, and there was some SCVs sitting at the front. Now my mutants are here. Even with the emergency boosters, he loses that one, and then he's going to lose this one as well. So that'll nicely even it up, and then this one will take me back in the lead by a couple hundred minerals, so that's good. Meanwhile, he's now bringing out his main army. This is quite a lot. It's 50 marines, only 2 marauders, and only 1 medevac, so he can't keep on stimming. Now, unfortunately, I get wrong-footed by this, and I go up the other way, and then I have to cut back on myself as I see he's coming in here, as he scans, takes out the creature tumour. So now he's assaulting right on my third base. So I run in, he stims. So now I'm kind of coming from 2 angles, up on this ramp here, and then this main body here. I lose all of my meters, I lose all of my roaches. But I can quickly replenish my muters. He's building 7 marines at a time, building 14 muters, that's not different marines. But he does again manage to take out my whole mineral line here, and I've not replenished my main. It's not really so important because there's not a lot of minerals here, but if I'd had the workers, I could just, as soon as this was done, run them over here. So now I'm kind of starting to kind of finish off his attack. And I'm going to go and have a counter-attack now with these muters. Because I've got roaches, I know he can't really get in any further. I have lost this third base, and now he's going to evac. I sent in this group of marines up here to check if there was a 4th base. They took out the couple of things I had up here, and then this overlord. And now they're just going to sit there. Now I found I'm guessing his 4th base, because his 3rd is here, not mining. And I'm going to take it out with mutants. He did a good thing in positioning his marines here to try and take them out if they came over this ridge, but in the end it didn't actually get that far. Now his marines tried to push down into the middle of the map here, but it ran straight into a group of roaches. So now I'm starting to stabilise. I've got a nice beefy army again. I don't have any mineral line. I've just started rebuilding this 3rd base, which I should have done a little earlier, so I'm basically on 1 base. He's just getting his 3rd underway. His natural's looking quite good. His main is very thin on the ground, but that's to be expected at this stage. He is missing 2 on gas here, but it's not rebuilding that much, which is gas heavy. He's got a couple of medevacs and a couple of marauders, but he's mainly going marines, and that medevac's entirely out of energy with this whole army being stimmed. So now I run in with my muters, and I find some nice juicy mules up here. So I'm also going to run in my roaches to take this down, and also defend my muters from this ramp here. Again, see, he tried to run his marines up. If he had, the roaches would have turned around and just been able to annihilate them. As it is, they now have free reign over this base, and I take out all of these workers as well, and then I'm going to conveniently escape through this little backdoor choke, which everybody seems to forget this exists. They don't tend to wall this off, and if they do, they wall it off up to the rocks, and then you can just take out the rocks and go through a nice new hole here. Really should, if you're walling off, if you're Terran Protoss, try and wall off this whole bit, just with a couple of barracks or a couple of gateways. It doesn't have to be that much, just to stop run-bys coming up here into this base, because otherwise you only have this one ramp, and it's quite close to this nice big space here where you're probably going to have your army position, so it's nice and defensible. So now I'm finally refilling myself on drones up here. I'm going up to Hydras, getting all of the ranged upgrades, I'm getting tunneling claws, just to help my roaches heal a bit quicker, getting more roaches. So I'm going to go for a big roach hydra push. Again, I've just got some muters. I've only got 8 now, down from 14. But again, I'm just maintaining them just to keep, again, air superiority, make him a little bit afraid of drops. So now, 11 hydras on the way, hydra range, so they can sit at the back and be very, very burst in terms of DPS. So now he's got amassed a huge army again. Another 60 marine army. Still has the 2 marauders, they didn't die last time. Or maybe he just rebuilt exactly 2. Who knows? Let's see if we can find them. Do they have any kills? No, so then he must have rebuilt exactly 2. So he runs down there, sees my huge army. I should probably have brought this road back earlier. But he's now going to load up, try and do a drop. But then there's this huge engagement, and it's still sitting here, and now he starts dropping around. But now I'm just keeping up, bringing the mutas, target fire the medevacs down, and then everything else around taking up marines. Again, they're only 1-1 marines. I'm just about to get 2-2, but it's not so important. He does manage to get 6 marines out of 57. That's alright. That's about 10%. So, just well saturated on 3 bases now. I have a lot of gas and not a lot of minerals because I spent a lot of my minerals on, again, getting these drones. And then on Roach Hydra, which is kind of mineral heavy for when you're on 3 base. It's alright, but you should kind of really be spending this gas on checking up, so I could go up to high by getting an infestation pit, more upgrades. And there he's just GGing. He's got this army here. He doesn't have anything left. And he GG's and leaves the game. Again, he's used his excuse. He's remembered his excuse, which is nice. There's nothing worse than setting yourself a nice excuse at the start and then using a different one at the end. But again, I checked. It wasn't the first SCV. It was about his 4th or 5th, where he was just rallying them onto mineral patches to try and get a nice even saturation, and he must have just misclicked and one was sitting just right here. He didn't notice it for a little while and then sent it back, so I don't think it hurt him that much. I think his main issue was he just built lots of marines. He must be a fan of Bomber. StarCraft jokes. So I was just spreading creep up to these just as such, just to stop him taking them, because obviously I can plonk down expansions on top of creep, no problem, but Terrans have to clear these up first. It takes a little while for the creep to recede, and again, it's just an easy way to keep tabs on these bases as well, because once this is gone, I know he could have a base here. There's no other reason for killing these off at this stage. So, what could I have done better? Well, this drop up here, I built Static D after the effect. He never dropped there again, so that's 300 wasted minerals. I lost all of my workers on this base, so I should have run them down to the natural, or just generally just away from all of the marines which were sitting right at the back here. Then on the attack on my 3rd, again, I should have ran my workers earlier. I would probably still have lost this hatchery, but I would have still had the drone, so as soon as the hatchery was rebuilt, or double expand up to here as well, I could have resaturated a lot quicker than I did. So, that's probably the thing to learn. Again, Terrans I find amazingly annoying. Just drops are very difficult to keep track of, especially if they're doing multi-drops. There wasn't much dropping this game. It was just a couple of big, double medevac drops here and then a big push here, which I didn't come out too bad with. Obviously won. I was then taking up to infestation pit, and I think mainly that was due to him just sticking on marines. If he had more medevacs, had a lot more marauders to deal with my roaches, then it would have been a different matter. So that's definitely something I need to improve, just to at the start of the game, maybe just build 1 spore, 1 spine at the back, just in case there is a drop, so it can help defend. They'll probably target the Spore and Spine, because obviously the Spore will be targeting the medevac, the Spine will be attacking the Marines, and they'll auto-attack it if there's no input, and run the drones. You know, even if it's here, or if that's where the army is, just away. I can always run them around and come bring them back. It's better than having to rebuild them all. I was quite happy with my Creep's bed. It could have been a lot better. I could have replenished this and kept on pushing, but it enabled me to get a reasonably quick route into his base and to run around a little bit to do bits of defense. But again, it could have been better. In the end, these 2 Evo chambers with this choke here kind of really just hurt me when I was trying to run back to defend. Everything had to run through that little choke. I don't think I might not do this again. I don't know. I do like having it there just so it is narrow, so that if there is a push, you can have roaches in a nice concave back here, so they do have to run through this narrow choke. I'll have a think about it. I'll try it out a couple more times. If it doesn't really provide any use, I won't build them here. I'll build them here to wall off the ramp against the natural, so they have to run all the way around the back if they want to get up this ramp. That's probably a better use of these 2, just to control the space there and leave that open so that I can surround things. Okay, well, this has been Ladder Anxiety episode 3. So next week I'm just gonna choose games I enjoyed. We've done all 3 races, ZVP, CVZ and now ZVT, so I'm now just going to start uploading some games I thought went particularly well, or where I made a huge massive blunder that really I need to pay attention to, and try with those try and figure out what I was thinking at the time, because I obviously thought it was a good idea, but it didn't go that well. So I hope you enjoyed watching. I've been Proximace, and I will see you all next time.